Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Okay, so we will continue with Manah Shodhanam, and we're on verse number 7. So if those of you who have the book, if you can turn to verse number 7, we'll read that verse. I'll read it and then you can repeat after me. So also those who don't have books can follow along. Our more books will come by next week. Manah Shuddhikaraniha Sadhanani vadantiha Yagno Danam Tapaschaiva Japas Tirtham Vratastatha. So in verse number 7, we're learning about ways to purify the mind. And last time we saw Yagna and Tapas, right? So I'll just recap these two and then we'll go into Dana or charity. The first means we saw was Tapas. Tapas means austerity. So austerity is a spiritual practice that means to control all of our energy and prevent it from leaking out unnecessarily. So some kinds of austerity we saw are austerity of the body, of the speech, of the mind. Whatever attempt we make to live a life of self-control, that is called austerity. So in terms of the body, it can be waking up at a certain time or sleeping at a certain time, or exercising for a certain amount of time, eating a certain way, engaging in seva. These are all austerities of the body. Austerities of the speech are speaking the truth, knowing when to speak and knowing when not to speak. Not speaking is a great austerity also, because we don't have to speak all the time, right? We find that in the culture today, we have to speak, and we're afraid when there are silent moments, we have to almost fill it up. So even not speaking, holding our speech is a great austerity. And when we speak, speaking the truth is a great austerity because it saves us a lot of mental energy. As we saw last time, when we lie, how many things happen when we lie, right? How much unnecessary stuff we have to go through. Then austerity of the mind is acceptance, prasada, having a very calm and accepting mind, accommodating mind. So this is austerity, and the purpose of it is not to obviously show off that I am practicing all of these things. It is a very personal thing. Austerity is between you and God, because it's actually to break the ego. It's actually to minimize the ego. That's why we're doing it. And when we practice austerity, we conserve a lot of energy and we're able to do more. We're able to give more. So what do we do with all that conserved energy from austerity? Because when we really discipline ourselves, we have much more to give. If we're not able to give more, if we're not able to do more, it's because there's a lot of indiscipline still in our life. Just see, I'm sure there are moments in our life which we can curb and make tighter. And when we do that, we can give more. And that giving more is called Yagna, or selfless dedicated service. And we saw that this whole world runs on Yagna, selfless dedicated service, giving back not just to myself, not just to my family, but to my entire community, because we've received so much. So there's no, last week we discussed that some people may feel like, why can't I just do things for me? And the answer is because we've been supported, we've gained by so many people or from so many people, be it our parents, be it our ancestors, Bhagavan, be it our rishis, our Guru Parampara, be it the Mother Earth, or even strangers. So many people have given to us, so many people have served us. And when we think about all of that, then inevitably we will feel like giving back. If that feeling of giving back hasn't come, it's because I haven't analyzed how many people actually have contributed to my life. And when I do that, this yagna, selfless spirit comes. And it's just a spirit of giving without expecting anything in return. It's that type of giving, because in the giving itself is fulfillment. When we serve, when we do, in that itself is fulfillment. Whatever happens after that is extra. So the nature of selfless dedicated service, without expecting anything in return, just being fulfilled in the fact or in the act of giving. And this yagna, the result of this is that it makes us much more selfless, and it makes us identify with a lot of people. See, this knowledge culminates in seeing that divine self in all beings. If I'm not able to see my oneness with the beings around me, then what to talk of self-knowledge, Atman? So it makes me identify collectively with every single being and be more mindful about what I think, what I see, what I do, what I say. And it also reduces my likes and dislikes. It's about reducing our individuality. Reducing, I want to do this, I like to do this, I don't like to do this. In the spirit of yagna, we curb all of our likes and dislikes, and it's not about you or me or any person, but it's about a greater vision or a greater cause. So in this practice, the ego really gets roasted. That's what happens in the spirit of yagna. So now I have conserved my energy through tapas. And through yagna, we have served. That's also spiritual practice, selfless, dedicated service to society. And please note, as I said here, nobody has to change their job. In your current career, in the current place where you are, whether you're at home, whether you're in the workplace, we can change our attitude and just make that yagna. So instead of thinking this job is for my promotion, my comfort, my luxury, my wealth, my name, no. It's about how can I serve people? How can I create a benefit that will create something that will benefit all people? Or if I am raising my children, it's not about, what I want to do, how I might raise my child, how I want my child to be. But no, think about what is the best way in which this child can evolve. That's the spirit of yagna. So when I have conserved my energy and I have served others, what happens is I also receive things back. And when I receive things back, our scriptures say, again give. Again, if I receive things, because obviously when I serve, when I help, I'll receive things. Whether it's my skill, my talent getting deeper, getting better. Whether it is wealth, whether it is time, whatever it is that I get back, again give. And this giving now is called charity or dana. Dana or charity. Charity is also a very, very important part of our culture. And what are the examples of charity? So I said you can give food, knowledge, we can share our talent, we can share attention, give love. All of these things are charity. The greatest charity in our scriptures, as is said, is Vidya Danam, the charity of knowledge, the charity of teachings, because when one gives that, then the other person can learn to be independent. So the greatest charity is where we give something by which the other person can be independent of us. And the nature of this charity is datavyam iti danam, that one should feel that I need to give. Not that, oh no, again they're asking for money, right? Especially this season, so many people are sending all of these things. Datavyam iti danam, now this is an opportunity for me to give. And who deshe kale patre, to give charity not just to any being, but to the right patra, means to the right person, to the one who deserves it, at the right kala, right time, and desha, at the right place. So sometimes we feel like it's summertime and I need to get rid of my winter coat, so give it for charity. That is not charity, because people might not need that. Whenever we have so much junk in our house and we want to get rid of it, we say, okay, let's just give it to charity. But we're not asking, do they need it or not? So when we give charity, it's important to know, does the person deserve it? Does that place deserve it? We have to do our research. It has to be the right patra, the right time, and the right place. And with the feeling that I should give. I should give because I am so grateful. Not that kind of I am forced to give. And how to give? Anupakarini means give to the one who you know you're not going to get anything back from. What a beautiful thing it says in the Bhagavad Gita. When we give charity, give without the notion that I am getting something back. Or what am I getting back? Because some people give charity only if their name will be displayed, only if they will be recognized. They'll give only if in some way they'll be compensated for it, right? So this is not sattvic danam. Sattvic danam is much, much deeper. It is coming out of a sense of fullness. Datavyam iti danam. And also, when we give, sometimes, we make the person feel low. Rather, oh, you're getting charity from me. Look, you need money. We look down on the person. But sattvic danam is not that. We actually tell the person that you've given me an opportunity to give. I'm so grateful to you. I'm grateful for that opportunity. Swami Vivekananda ji, he met Rockefeller. And so Rockefeller had a lot of money. And so Swami Vivekananda ji said, why don't you start to give charity? Start to share your money with others. Rockefeller didn't think about that. So the next time he came to Swami Vivekananda ji and he wrote a check for a charity. And he showed it to Swami Vivekananda and he said, here, see, now I'm giving charity. You should thank me. Swami Vivekananda looked at him and said, no, you should thank me. Because you have the opportunity to give. So in our culture, charity is seen as that opportunity to give back. Because I have received so much. And the ideal, when we look at nature, the ideal example of how to live life is found in a tree. A tree has gone through severe austerity or tapas because they stand in the burning sun. They stand in the burning sun. Then they do yagna because they use their leaves, their branches to provide shade. So they stand on the burning sun, yet they provide shade for everybody. And whatever fruit they bear, everybody else takes it. It's not for their own sake. And that is their charity. So a very selfless life is found in a tree. That's why we also revere trees very much. So this is that Danam. And that Danam, that charity, it's also this way of what does it do for us? It gets rid of the sense of mine-ness. Because how many of us hoard so many things, right? We hoard so many things and we're afraid to part with it. We have more clothes than we need. Yes? Everybody here has more clothes than we need. We have more food than we need. We have more accessories than we need. But yet we're so afraid to part with something. We say it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. We're afraid to let go. Charity is a way for us to let go of our mine-ness, because at the end of the day, we have to let go of our ego. We have to let go of that I-ness. If we cannot let go of mine-ness, how are we to let go of our ego? We're so attached to a piece of cloth. We're so attached to an accessory. We're so attached to a certain type of food. We can't even let that go. Then what to talk of the highest? And by hoarding, this will also come when we talk about greed. So many people are being deprived of things that they would need. Right? As Mahatma Gandhi ji said, we have enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. So that charity makes us get rid of our mine-ness. And it helps us to contribute again back to the cycle. And it gives a chance for us for other people to support other people who don't have the things, who don't have enough clothes, enough shelter, enough food. It gives us a chance to also help. It gives us a chance to give. And what is the application now? So now I'm going to ask everybody to do something here for Deepavali. Deepavali is next week, correct? We have 1 week. So in everyone's homes, I want you to pack 3 boxes, okay? 3 boxes to give of stuff per person. A medium-sized box, not small box, but 3 boxes to give. So this is also our chance of giving back. And find a place to give. Find a proper place. Find a time. Find a proper deserving person to give. But give. Danam. Okay? Now, so we have austerity, we have selfless dedicated service, we have charity. Now we'll come to the next one, and it's called Japa. Japa. So how many of you have heard this word before? Japa. Okay. So Japa is the repetition of the name of God or a mantra. This is called Japa. So examples, every Padviya class we have Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. We have that. Shri Krishna, Sharanam Mama, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shri Lakshmi Namaha. All of these things are examples of Japa. Why is Japa such an important practice? See, again, all of these practices are an aid to self-realization. And when we think about self-realization, 2 broad things are required. One is purity of mind, and the other is single pointedness of mind. It's called Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. Chitta Ekagrata. Because without this purity of mind and single pointedness of mind, what will happen? We will sit in these discourses and we will hear you are Brahman, you are awareness, you are consciousness, but nobody will feel it. So then this discourse becomes only entertainment. I'm entertained, but when I go back home, I really don't feel any of this. Correct? But for these discourses to be a gateway to enlightenment, what's required is this purity of mind and single pointedness of mind. We will see the subtlest sadhana, which is vichara, after. But to pursue or to inquire upon the truth, a focused mind is needed, and that's why japa is the practice. We try to sit and meditate. Then what happens? We meditate on everything else but what we're supposed to meditate on, right? When we do japa, we have a alambana, a sense of support. See, our rishis were so great. They said, this aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am pure consciousness, is very subtle. So before we get to that level, let us provide people with a form that they can hold on to. So when they close their eyes and they see that form, their mind is able to hold that thought. So be it Bhagavan Shiva, Bhagavan Krishna, Devi, their mind is able to hold that thought. And so they said everyone must have one Ishta-Devata. Ishta-Devata means that form of God or goddess who's very dear to your heart. Now some of us have a whole, like we'll have our whole mandir with 20 pictures of gods and goddesses, right? Then we're confused, which one do I pick? Huh? And why do I have to pick one? Pick one because this sadhana is for single pointedness of mind. If we have 3 or 4 or 5 forms of Bhagavan that we're thinking of, we'll just be confused. And in fact, in Krishna is Shiva. In Shiva is Rama. So there's no need to be confused. So pick one form of Bhagavan or Bhagavati as your Ishta-Devata, as that form of God who is so dear to your heart. And have an altar with that form of God. And when you close your eyes, you say the mantra of that form of God or goddess. And when we do that, then what happens is we start our japa. 3 things happen to the mind with the japa practice. 3 broad things. One is the mind reduces its quantity of thoughts. So the mind reduces its quantity of thoughts. Our psychologists, they say that every day we have at least 60,000 thoughts. Just imagine how many thoughts were running in our mind. Now there's more thoughts because now in the environment, the people are speaking faster. Oh, have you seen all in the videos? They'll edit all the spaces, right? And people are speaking so much faster, so much faster, so much. So there's so many more thoughts. So when we practice japa, it reduces the quantity of thoughts. So I'm only having this one thought, not any other thought. I'm just having this one thought. So just imagine how much focus one will develop by thinking one thought at one time. When was the last time we thought one thought at one time? When was the last time? We can't even remember. Because we're sitting here and our mind is somewhere else. We're at work and our mind is somewhere else. We're at the kitchen, we forget if we put salt or not, our mind is somewhere else. We're with our kids standing in front of us, our mind is somewhere else. So we have lost that ability to be where our thoughts are. Japa means, reduced quantity means where my body is, my mind is. So when I tell the kids, I tell them MBA, mind-body alignment. This is the MBA we all have to get. Mind-body alignment. Where my body is, my mind should be. And when that happens, then there's extreme focus in whatever I do. And that's one benefit of japa. It reduces the quantity of thoughts. So one has the ability to focus intently on anything. So just even doing the japa practice, that benefits all other fields, all other activities. That's one benefit. The second benefit is that people will ask, why can't you do japa on chair, right? Chair, just say the name, chair, again and again and again. Why do I have to say, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha? Why do I have to say these names? It's because japa improves the quality of my mind. See, when I'm doing japa on Shiva, let's say I am thinking on Shiva, then all Shiva's qualities will come to me. As you think, you become. So the one who contemplates on Shiva will have equanimity, will have peace, will have calmness, will have dispassion. The one who is contemplating on Krishna will have a lightness of heart, will have wisdom, will have friendliness, will have sweetness, madhurya. The one who's contemplating on Saraswati will have purity, will have knowledge, will have music, talent, creativity. So with each form of God or goddess that we contemplate on, we acquire those very qualities. So the quality of the thoughts, they also change, they become divinized. So just see this. The quantity of thoughts are reduced, so one develops an enormous capacity to focus. The quality of thoughts are improved. And not only that, the third benefit, the third thing that happens to the mind is the direction of thoughts now comes inward. Because where is our mind going all the time? Extroverted, all out in the world. What's happening in the world? Where am I going to go shop? What movie am I going to go see? Where do I want to travel next? All of the mind is always going out, 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 out. And the solution to this burning sorrow that we have is not outside, it's inside. So when we do japa, it turns the attention inward. The direction of the thoughts also change. The mind becomes subtler and subtler. So this japa is an incredibly powerful practice. And in fact, a lot of seekers of Vedanta, before they pursue Vedanta or can pursue Vedanta seriously, they have to pursue these spiritual practices. And if these spiritual practices are not formed, if there's no foundation, we can inquire into the self as much as we want. We will not get the full benefit of it. So this japa is a great tool. In the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 10, Lord Shri Krishna says, of all the yagnas, I am japa. I am japa because I provide all of these benefits. Now, this japa can also be done in various ways. If somebody was to begin a japa practice, obviously we need a mala, a japa mala, right? Like how I have here. And the beauty of the japa mala, it has 108 beads. So minimum is 108 times for japa practice. For the kids, there's a small bracelet one, 27 times they can do. For adults, 108. Why 108? Because we have 5 senses. Sense of seeing, hearing, smelling, taste, touch. 5 senses. Then we have this body, we have the mind, we have the intellect. It's 8. When that japa helps me to prepare my mind to disidentify with the 8, and that's the 0, so that I can come to the one true essence, which is Atman. So this full circle, what's it helping me do? It's preparing me so that 8, 5 senses, body, mind, intellect, I disidentify with that, which is the 0. And when I disidentify with that, I come to my true self, which is the 1. And that is japa. And at first, people always ask, do we do it loud or softly, or how do we do it? When we're first starting the practice, we have to do it loud. Like, Om Namah Shivaya. Loud. Because we don't have that practice yet to focus. So when we do it loud, we focus on the sound, the name, and also the form. As our practice progresses, then we can do it just moving the lips. And as our practice progresses even deeper, we can just do it in the mind. So slowly, slowly, that practice gets subtler and subtler. And the name of God is a very powerful thing also. It is true in Vedanta, we come to the understanding that we are Atman, the essence of us is Atman, the essence of God is Brahman. But know that nothing happens without God's grace in this path of seeking. Nothing happens without God's grace. There is one story to tell us the power of God's name. There was one Panditji. Panditji, he lived with his son. His son lived with him. His son was about 10 or 11 years old. This Panditji was very, very famous in the town. You know, some people in those villages and towns, everybody knows them because everybody used to go to him for their problems. So everyone would knock on his door for their problems. So one day what happened was, somebody knocked on the Panditji's door, but he wasn't there. He told his son, I am going to the river for a bath, and whoever comes, tell them I will be back in about 2 hours or so. I'll come. I'll go for my bath, I'll do my prayers. Tell them I'll come in a while. They can come back. So this person started knocking on the door, Panditji, Panditji, Panditji. And the son opened the door and the son said, you know, my father is not here. He's gone to the river to bathe and he'll come back in about 2 hours. So you can come back then. And this person was very desperate. Said, no, 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 no. I need help right now. I need help right now. And you are living with your father, so you must know what to do. Well, you tell me what to do. I am so desperate. I need help right now. And so the son said, now what can I do? So he said, let me think. And he remembered what his father used to say. So he told this person, let me tell you something. Just say the name of Ram 3 times. How many times? 3 times. Ram, Ram, Ram. And everything will be okay. This son told that person. So that person said, okay, I'll do that. And he went home. Now that Panditji came back after his bath, his sadhana, and his son told him, Papa, Papa, I have something to tell you. When you were gone, somebody came. And they had a problem and they insisted that they need help right now. So I helped them. The Panditji said, what did you tell them? He said, Papa, I told him, say the name of Ram 3 times. Ram, Ram, Ram. That Panditji got so mad. He got so mad. He said, how could you do that? How can you do that? And the son said, why, Papa? Panditji said, do you know how precious Sri Rama's name is? You need to only say it 1 time. Ram. Only 1 time. That's enough. So the name of God is so incredibly precious. Even 1 time is enough. We do 108 times. Yes, I had said to you. But if somebody calls deeply, purely with love, 1 time is more than enough. That is the power of Bhagavan's name. Japa. So all of us, think. We have to think in our lives, who is that Ishta-Devata? Who is that form of Bhagavan that we can think on, we can revel on? If not for us, at least for our children. We should have one Ishta-Devata that they always pray to for guidance, so that there is that connection. There is that bond of love. So this is Japa. Then we come to Tirtha. So how many have we seen so far? Total? 4, right? We've seen Tapas, Yagna, Dana, Japa, Tirtha. Tirtha means pilgrimage. This is also a great spiritual practice. So, pilgrimage, what is the nature of a pilgrimage? Why is it important? See, there are, how many of us travel? All of us travel, right? We travel, we go to different places. But whenever we travel and we come back, what do we feel like? We need another vacation from that vacation, right? This Tirtha is a very divine kind of travel because it's going to meet Bhagavan. It's going to meet Bhagavan. So there are 3 types of Tirthas. One is called Sthavara. Sthavara means a stationary place of pilgrimage. So it could be a temple, it could be an ashram, it could be a samadhi sthala, any of these places. Another is called Jangama. Jangama means to meet a Mahatma, to meet a great saint and sage who's moving around. That's another place or point of pilgrimage. Then there's also Manasika Tirtha, means a pilgrimage in my mind. So these pilgrimages are different from travel. How so? When we travel, we pack so much, isn't it? So many things. To go on vacation, we pack 2-3 bags just for one vacation. When you go on pilgrimage, the idea is to pack light. Pack light because it's not only about reaching that temple, reaching that destination, but it's also the journey towards it. When we travel, what's the thing that we plan? Which restaurant are we going to eat in? What kind of cuisine? Where are we going to dine? Lots of eating, feasting. You go on yatra, lots of fasting. Lots of fasting and cleansing. When we go to travel, we have a whole list of family who we're going to see. This person next and that person, chai in this person's house, samosa in that person's house, this one in this person's house. Whole list. When we go on yatra, we're meeting Bhagavan alone. There's no other agenda. There's no other agenda. And thus, and when we go on a travel, when we go on any trip, we plan everything to the T. Where we're going to see, what we're going to do. In yatra, we have to leave a lot unplanned. Because we never know. We never know what's going to happen. And so in this yatra or tirtha yatra, which we go to, the start of it is very auspicious. Because it's like we take a vow. Vow will also come after. We take a vow that I'm going now on this pilgrimage, and for these many days, I will observe this kind of austerity to reach there. Whether it's chanting a mantra, whether it's fasting, whether it's doing a certain ritual, observe it. And throughout the journey, all one is thinking about is just meeting that deity. Nothing else. So, chanting the stotras, chanting the names, singing bhajans, one's only thinking about that and that alone. And when one finally gets to the deity, what do we all do? When we see the deity in the temple, we close our eyes. Correct? 3 hours we're waiting in line, 4 hours we're waiting in line, and our darshan is 20 seconds if we're lucky. And when we have that darshan, we just close our eyes because we realize it's that God within. So sometimes this mind, because it's so extrovert, has to go to a temple to meet the God within. Sometimes we're not capable of it. Sometimes all that chanting, all that singing, all that glorification, all that helps to build that devotion so that when we go there, our mind rests silent. So this is a very, very beautiful spiritual practice. And when people go on these pilgrimages, it is also about surrender because you never know what's going to happen. We went to this past summer. I had taken a resolve to go to Kedarnath in the Himalayas. this region, you never know if, first of all, the road is going to be there to go to Kedarnath. Because I'd gone in September, right? So monsoon season, we don't know if there's going to be a road to go there. So we have to just plan, and whatever happens, happens. So luckily, they said you can go. But also when you're driving there, a landslide may happen. We never know. Let's say Himalayas, a landslide may happen. We have to just leave it to Bhagavan. So we went. Luckily, everything was okay. Then the hike up, I think it's like something like 18, 19 kilometers, I think, if I remember. So we had wanted to walk. And that in itself is to walk up in that mountain. That in itself, we don't know if we're going to be able to do it. But, you know, when we take that resolve and when we just keep the name of God in our minds, Bhagavan makes you walk. It's like you just have to walk with that trust, with that faith that something is going to move you and you're going to walk. And that's Tirtha. You just take that resolve that Bhagavan, you're going to make me walk, you're going to make me do everything. Just take that resolve, and slowly, slowly things just happen. And we're able to make our way there. You know? I think we started at around 4 o'clock in the morning. By the time we got up, it was around 12:30. And and then we were able to go to the temple and everything. And it's not that, you know, when you go up, it's not that you get to the temple right away. You go up and they're like, oh, the temple's right there. Right there means like another hour. It's right there. You know, it's like, and then you get there, like, no, the temple is right there. It means another hour. And then you get to the temple, there's a line again. And your legs are completely shattered. But there's no other way, right? It is a commitment that one has made to Bhagavan. So one goes, and sits there. As I said, it's that feeling when you go there, everything is just to turn the mind within. So these Tirtha Yatras are so important because they help us build that faith and that connection that no matter what happens, we will be taken care of. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah parupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Shri Krishna says, whoever thinks of me single-pointedly and has ultimate faith in me, then I will take care of everything that they need and secure whatever it is that they need. So there's absolutely no need to worry. So that is also what a Tirtha Yatra teaches us to completely let go and be worry-free. And to have faith. So that is Tirtha. So as I said, now here we're thinking in America, where are we going to go for Tirtha? There are temples that we can go to, there's places we can go to and plan a day just with the family. Or there are some, nice places, nice, serene, calm places. That can also be like a Tirtha. That can be a Tirtha. And also make our mind like a Tirtha. But it's important to be in these places to feel that vibration or atmosphere. Somebody asked Swami Chinmayanandaji, why go to a temple? If God is everywhere, why go to a temple? Oh, and these were youth. Then he looked at them, he said, okay, you like to dance? Why go to a disco? Dance in your room. And he said, no, I like the disco because there's the speaker and there's the DJ and there's the beats and there's everything. There's all the whole ambiance. So Gurudev said the same thing. The temple has a whole ambiance. We have the DJ, which is the Panditji. We have the music, which is the sacred Vedic chants. And we have the whole area with the incense and diya and everything like that. So it's a whole ambiance. Okay. Vrata, I will take up. Yeah. I will take up next time. Vrata I will take up next time. Vrata means vow. I will stop here for a moment to see if anyone has any questions or anything they want to share.
Japa, how much should we do? Like we're starting out, how long, how much?
Yeah. So japa, if we're starting out, then see, it depends on the mantra. One mala can be done in about maybe 5 minutes, 5-7 minutes. So when we're starting out, at least first do one mala, and then sit quietly after. Then gradually go to 3 malas. 3 malas. Swami Shivananda Maharaj Ji says people should do 50 malas a day. 50 malas a day. 50 malas roughly translates to about 3 hours a day. So first start with one. The most important thing is also the quality of it. So as I said, if we're doing japa, if we have that ambiance, the first is to have that Ishta-Devata, that form of God who I'm going to do japa on, in front of me. Because before I start, I should look at that form very carefully and find something to focus on. Find a point in that form to focus on intently. So let us say for Bhagavan Shiva, you can focus on his forehead or his third eye, like that. Find a point to focus on, have that in our altar, have that mantra with us, then try one mala loudly. If we do it loudly, slowly, it'll take more than 5 minutes. Then gradually make our way to 3 malas. Then slowly, slowly increase to 10 malas. So the most important thing is the quality of it.
And what should we focus on right after doing the japa? Like what's
So right after the japa, there's 2 tracks one can take. One is just focus on that form. So after the japa, you can bring that form to the mind and just focus intently on that form. Or after the japa, now if one knows or understands this knowledge of I am, that pure awareness, one can also do that kind of contemplation. Because this japa really quietens the mind, so we can actually contemplate on the self. We can, or we can contemplate on the form of Bhagavan Shiva, wherever the mind is drawn to. See, the most important thing is to hold our mind. Now, in the beginning stages, we want to say, I am pure awareness, I am pure consciousness. We can hold that thought for 30 seconds, but guaranteed after 30 seconds, the mind's going to go all over the place. We have to train the mind with japa. Yeah. Right. Any other questions? Yeah.
Say we are in subway or bus. There is nothing else to do. Is japa okay to do that? But the problem is the surroundings might not be quiet. There may be noise, things like that. So, is it okay to do japa or is it unwise to do japa? Japa or any silent meditation?
Yes, perfectly okay. So if you're in the subway, question is, if you're in the subway, if you're in a place where it's quite noisy, can you do japa? Yes, just keep repeating it in your mind. The idea is your inner silence has to be louder than the outside noise. And it can be. It can be. When we're thinking something intently, we can't even hear what's going on outside, right? So like that, our japa has to be intent.
It's not damaging.
It's not damaging. In fact, it's purifying. Whenever we have a moment, do japa. Because the mind needs something to hold on to, do that japa. Instead of picking up the phone and looking at WhatsApp and email and all of this, do japa. Close the eyes and just do japa. Because it develops a rhythm for the mind also. Yeah. So whenever you're waiting, whenever someone's not there yet, whenever you're riding the subway, whenever you have a moment, let the mind go in the name of God. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. see, we live in New York City. But actually, where do you live? If your mind lives in God, then you live in God. You live not where your body lives, but you live where your mind lives. So if your mind lives in peace and positivity, that's where you live. If your mind lives in the name of God, then that's where you live. So that's a beautiful practice to keep staying there, living there. Any other thoughts or questions?
The Tirtha that you mentioned, right? So,
definitely we visit temples. Like you said, there's two times when you visit temples. And one is just you're visiting a temple.
Yeah.
And this Tirtha part of it. Can you tell us more about how do you accomplish like a Tirtha as opposed to just like, because like when I say I go to India, I try to visit a temple. I am not sure exactly I'm just visiting the temple or I'm doing a Tirtha, right? From that perspective. Or if I'm just, let's say if I just go to Kedarnath, am I doing a Tirtha then, or there's some other thing that I have to, like you mentioned about austerity when you're going there, but when I'm going to Kedarnath, I'm eating all the way.
Yeah, that is not Tirtha. So there has to be some austerity, right? There has to be, so let's say Kedarnath. Now somebody is going to Kedarnath. The austerity is on the way there. What is the mind doing? So it has to be Japa all the way, right? Then going up, silence. Not like you're yakking and talking. That is not Tirtha, right? Yakking and talking and taking pictures here and there and stopping in every stall to eat. That is not Tirtha. That is just completely, that is, at least we're still going there, but that's not the purpose of it, right? So silence is good to have, and avoid eating if it's not required. For some people they need to eat, fine, but if it's not required. Then if one avoids sitting, sometimes they'll sit and they'll have a conversation with this person and that person. That's not the purpose of Tirtha. So some things we have to say we're not going to do unless absolutely the body requires it. Reach in silence, and even reaching up, just the mind should be just on Japa, nothing else. Not here, not there, just on Japa. So then when we go there, we feel the full blessing of that Tirtha Yatra. And it's also important to find out about the place, because so many times we go to so many temples and places and we don't know anything about them, but we just go. Well, that's also not okay. So we should also find out what is the story behind the place, what's the significance, and what else is there in the temple. So many times we go to places and we miss the essence of the temple also, right? So that is called Tirtha. Right? So don't think just visiting any temple, any place of pilgrimage is Tirtha. It's the whole attitude going there and also coming back. And coming back also from a Tirtha is not sharing pictures of everywhere. I did this Tirtha, I did that Tirtha. It is that my bond with God has grown stronger. That's the result. So when it's done in the right way, it's a very, very beautiful thing. It's actually an unforgettable thing. Yeah. How many of you have gone on any Tirtha or pilgrimage? Yes? Where did you go?
I've gone to Belur in Calcutta.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. That's a beautiful place. Yeah, where have you gone?
Varanasi as well as Belur.
Okay, Varanasi and Belur. Yes, where have you gone?
So I go to the Sri Aurobindo Ashram in Pondicherry.
Okay, yeah, very nice. Yeah, I've been there also. Very nice. Anywhere else? Okay, very nice. There you have to climb all of the steps up, right? Yeah, lots of austerity there. Yeah. Anybody else? Tirupati. Tirupati, that one you have to go very early, right? Yeah. Yes?
I've scratched off all of mine because...
Scratched off all of yours. Because, yeah. When the idea is when you go with that bhava and you find out about that place and you sit there with that purity of mind, then it becomes a tirtha. Otherwise, it's just a visit.
Still, some benefit comes.
Some benefit. I don't doubt that. Some benefit comes. Some benefits comes. But if you want the full benefit, then it should be done with austerity.
Because of ignorance, it is.
All of us have done. All of us have done. Mhm. You know, it is so holy. I'll share this one last point. I stayed in Uttarkashi, and you know, in Uttarkashi, Ma Ganga flows, and we don't see her. She's not a river. She's mother. So whenever the sadhus, before they take water, they do namaskar to Ma Ganga. Then they take water. Then only they bathe, or or they go in. It's such a beautiful thing. So much reverence they have for even Ma Ganga. So that's something to be seen. Yeah.
So, we spoke about visiting temples, and I find especially here in the US, when I visit a temple, the commercialization of it all bothers me.
Yeah.
Okay, even in India.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but here it's so systematic. Like, do you want to buy this puja or do you want to buy that puja? And that just, I feel like it takes away from the whole experience, because you're there, as you suggested, to be in that state of japa.
Yeah.
And how do you make peace with that?
Yeah. So there is a lot of commercialism now in the temples, right? That buy this puja, buy that puja. You just push that aside. It will be there. It will be there. You just have to push it aside and know that this is your journey with Bhagavan. There's nothing we can do right now to avoid that. There's also so much pushing and pulling. All of that is there. Huh? All of that is there. But you just push all of that aside and you go as you need to go. Hmm?
I just find that that's turning me away from temples.
Yeah, but not all are like that. There are some few that are, the best, I tell you, are the samadhi sthals of great saints and sages. You know, where like some have mentioned Belur Math, or you go to Siddhabari, where Swami Chinmayanandaji Samadhi is there, or Uttarkashi, Swami Tapovan Maharaj lived. These quiet places where the saints and sages lived, there's no unnecessary drama there. Those are beautiful places. Yeah?
The way I reconcile it, at least, I completely agree. The commercial, the sort of packaging of spirituality I don't like it, but I've come to reconcile it as it is a way to, you use it as an opportunity to give, because these places don't exist without
Yeah.
some kind of material support.
It's
Even
true.
though they exist in the world, they have to
Yeah.
somehow sustain. So I think it's the spirit in which you give.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give, don't give. Don't feel like it's a. But
Yeah.
if you feel like you want to support the place, and that's something you can or want to do, then you do it.
Yeah.
That's how I've come to peace with it, which is taken a long time.
Yeah, it's true. They also have to find some way to sustain themselves. There's be some way to sustain the temple, right? But go, this is the journey between you and Bhagavan. So you go for Bhagavan alone. Nothing else.
I had a similar experience, like the dan, like we give dan. So the person was telling me that you will give the dan and then they will send it back to the shop. So I was like, well, like that's like, how does that defeats the purpose, right? But like my mother explained to me that it's just the bhav.
Just
So
there.
from your perspective, the bhav that you give it with is then you are done. Now what that other person does with that, that's on them. Like that's not on you. So if your bhav is clear, like then your from your part your duty is done.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop here. More we'll take up next week. So next week, 11 o'clock, you'll all come straight here. We won't have an opening. So please come few minutes early so your kids can get settled in their rooms. 11 to 12, we will be here. Then after that, we will proceed downstairs for Deepavali. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.